While it seems easy to understand, determining what's fake or not is difficult. Many people rely on gut feel in deciding what is credible or not. This undermines real news. Unlike fake news, real news goes through vetting by newsrooms with processes for mistakes. Editorial board and writers are disclosed. But nowadays, the term is even used to attack legitimate news organizations. In some cases, it comes from people accused of being in the center of disinformation campaigns. First Draft's Claire Wardle says the term fake news does not describe the complexity of misinformation and disinformation. Wardle describes misinformation as the inadvertent sharing of false information, disinformation as the deliberate creation and sharing of information known to be false. She explains that the current information ecosystem breaks down into three elements: the different types of content that are being created and shared, the motivations of those who create this content, the ways content is being disseminated. According to Wardle, there are 7 types of misinformation and disinformation: satire, which has no intention to cause harm but has potential to fool; misleading use of information to frame an issue or individual; impersonation of genuine sources; total fabrication of new content to deceive and do harm; false connections between the content and the headlines, visuals, or captions; sharing genuine content with false contextual information; and manipulation of genuine information or imagery. There are various motivations behind the creation of these content: poor journalism, parody, passion, provocation, partisanship, profit, political influence, or propaganda. False information may then be disseminated in various ways: unwittingly shared on social media, amplified by journalists, pushed out by loosely connected groups attempting to influence public opinion, and disseminated as part of sophisticated disinformation campaigns using bots and troll factories. With the global rise of social media, spreading disinformation online has become so much easier. So, the next time you see content online that may sound too good or bad to be true, take a second look before you click that share button.
Here are some strategies to shield yourself from fake news. Are you familiar with the source? Is it legitimate? Has it been reliable in the past? If not, you may not want to trust it. If a provocative headline drew your attention, read a little further before you decide to pass along the shocking information. Even in legitimate news stories, the headline doesn't always tell the whole story. But fake news, particularly efforts to be satirical, can include several revealing signs in the text. One fake story even attributed a quote to a dolphin. If that had been real, you could argue they buried the lead. Another telltale sign of a fake story is often the byline, if there even is one. And in some cases, the authors are not even real. One story was credited to a doctor who won 14 Peabody Awards and a handful of Pulitzer Prizes, which would be very impressive if it wasn't also totally made up. Many times these bogus stories will cite official or official-sounding sources, but once you look into it, the source doesn't back up the claim. Some false stories aren't completely fake, but rather distortions of real events. These mendacious claims can take a legitimate news story and twist what it says, or even claim that something that happened long ago is related to current events. One deceptive website took a story that was over a year old from CNN and slapped on a new, misleading headline and publication date. So on top of the deception, there was copyright infringement. Remember, there is such a thing as satire. Normally it's clearly labeled as such, and sometimes it's even funny. But it isn't the news. And then there's the more debatable forms of satire, designed to pull one over on the reader. These posts are also designed to encourage clicks and generate money for the creator through ad revenue. But they aren't news. We know this is difficult. Confirmation bias leads people to put more stock in information that confirms their beliefs and discount information that doesn't. But the next time you're automatically appalled at some social media post concerning, say, a politician you oppose, take a moment to check it out. Try this simple test. What other stories have been posted to the news website that is the source of the story that just popped up in your social media feed? You may be predisposed to believe a story about a politician you don't like, but if the alleged news site also features a story about Guardians from Antarctica retaliating against America by hitting New Zealand with an earthquake, maybe you should think twice before sharing. And yes, that earthquake story is a real example of a fake story that popped up. We know you're busy, and some of this debunking takes time, but fact-checkers get paid to do this kind of work. Between factcheck.org, Snopes.com, the Washington Post Fact Checker, and PolitiFact.com, it's likely at least one has already fact-checked the latest viral claim to pop up in your social media newsfeed. And remember, newsreaders themselves remain the first line of defense against fake news.